Hello guys, this is a Fluidist Programmer where code and music meet creativity. And today I'm going to show you how can you build a to-do list app so in that way you can add it to your portfolio. Let's go! Before we start into the coding session, I'm going to show you a live demo about the app and also how it looks like with the functionalities that we will be adding. So let's go to the monitor. Today I'm going to show you how can you build a to-do list app, and I will be showing you all the functionalities that you will be building with me. The first one is that we need to add a task, so let's add a task. Task 1, task 2. We can mark them as complete or incomplete, as you can see here. We can also edit the name of the task. Task 1, edited. Let's click on edit to edit it. Also, we can click on delete to delete a specific task. And if I add the new task again, task 1, and I want to delete them all by one, I can just click on here, delete all, and I click on OK, and as you see here, the tasks are not present anymore. Also, another thing that I wanted to show you is that we will be using an API that is called local storage, which is a functionality that is native in build of the browser. So I will be adding the two tasks again, task 1 and task 2. And if I by any chance want to reload the page, I should be persisting the data. So let's click on reload. As you see here, the tasks are still present, and this is why, because we are persisting the data, and no matter if we are reloading the page, our data will be there. So stay with me until the end of the video, because I will be showing you step by step how can you build this beautiful app. Okay guys, so let's start with the project. First we need to create a folder, in this case on the location of your choice. All we will be doing in this case is on the desktop. As you see here, I already created a folder that is called to-do list app. The process is pretty the same. Right now I am on a Mac computer, but it's the same in comparison to Windows, so we just make a right click, new folder, and then yeah, you can just create the folder over there. The next thing that we need to do in this case is open Visual Studio Code, and as well as the browser of your choice, so we can see the changes in real time. I already have them here opening. As you see here, I already opened the folder that we created on the desktop app. So let's proceed to create the three files that we need. In this case, we need a new file, which is index. Let's see, index.html. We need a CSS file, in this case styles.css, and the last one will be our good pal JavaScript, so we have script.js. Okay, let's go to the index.html, put an exclamation mark and also tap on it. So we use the emmet abbreviation to generate the doc type of our DOM structure. And as you see here, we have the initial scaffolding that we need to continue with our app. The next thing that we are going to do here is make a right click on the index.html and click on the extension of Open with Light Server. And what this will do is, as you see here, open the instance of our website in the browser. So as soon as we make any changes and we save on it, you will be able to see in real time. Okay. So now let's add a title. Let's put to-do list app, and if we save, in this case Command S, you will see that it's updating on real time. Okay. So inside of the body, let's create a main element. In this case, let's add a class of app. Inside of the main, we are going to be adding a header tag with the class of app header. Okay, And then inside of the header, we are going to add a heading of h1 with the same heading that we have here on the head. So it will be to do list app. Okay, nice. As you see here, we are able to see the changes on real time. Okay, now yeah, after the header, we are going to create a section. In this section, let's put a class of input area. Inside of this section, let's create an input. It's going to be type test with a class of input. Let's also add an ID of to do input on camel case, a placeholder of add a new task and an area label of new task. This area label is for accessibility. So these are like good practices that you need to follow when you are declaring certain elements on the HTML DOM. Let's create a button. This button is going to have the ID of add btn with an area label of add task. The text of the button is going to be add. You see here we are getting the end resource here, and let's add also a button of for the delete all the tasks. So the ID is going to be clear btn with a class of ghost, and the test is going to be delete all tasks. Let's put that. Yeah, delete all tags. Okay, nice. Now we are going to be adding another section, which is going to be for the task that will be displayed on the UI. We have a section here. Inside of the section, we are going to create a UL. In this case, is an unordered list. This is for declaring the bullet points. You will see in a sec. An ID of to-do list, and then let's create a class of to-do list, an area live of polite, and yeah, and we leave it empty inside of it. For the next section, in this case, we are going to put a footer. As the name suggests, the footer is for declaring certain content that you want at the bottom of the website. In this case, let's put a class of footer. Nice. Let's add some other tags here, small. And here you can put, in my case, I'm going to put build by the Flutis programmer. Good guys. So you can put your name here. You don't need to put the saying of the channel, okay? So we have all the structure of the HTML. Two things that we are missing here is the styles.css and the script file. So let's proceed to add those. The first one is, as you know, we need to add at the top of the head. So in this case, below the title, let's add a link tag. In this case, the rel is going to be style sheet because we'll be referencing a styles file. And the href in this case is going to be styles.css since we are on the root location. And then we are missing the JavaScript file. As you know, we need to declare it on the bottom before of the body tag that is closed. So we just we just put it after the wrapper of the main. So script here, we add a source. In this case, it's also on the root folder. So let's put script.js. And as you see, we have the bare bones of the application, which is the HTML. Right now, we are going to proceed to give styles to the styles.css. So in that way, you can see a better look appearance for this app that we are building right now. Now let's go to the styles.css. So we can continue by giving a styles to our app. So let's go to the styles. What we are going to do here, we are going to use certain colors. I already have them prepared for you. I'll be pushing this code to GitHub, so in that way you can see them. But also, you can see the colors specifically that I will be using. So first, let's create a root. In this case, this is a way for inside of CSS to create variables that we can use on the on the on the CSS file. I already have some colors here, so basically I would just copy and paste them. You can just pause on the video and then just type them one by one, and I will be explaining with you that here shortly. As you see here, I am assigning a heads color to each variable. These variables that you see here can be referenced then later, so in that way I don't need to be copying again each color on each property that I will be declaring later. In this case, the asterisk means that we will be applying all this style to the whole website structure. So we are going to put a property that is called box sizing, and the value is going to be border box. Basically, what this means is like a CSS property that changes how an elements width and height are calculated. So basically, that the dimensions that are specified include the elements content, padding, and border. This is the box model, and is a term that I can explain later on following videos. Let's continue. Right now we have, let's give some styles to the body tag that we have on the HTML. And what we are going to do here is margin of 0. So we don't have any margins, as you see here. They are completely on the border. We don't have any margin. Then let's apply a font family. This is for the styles of the font. Let's put a in this case Arial, sensitive, Helvetica, or sensitive. Yeah, we are using fonts that we already have pre-built available here on the computer. For the background, we are going to use a method that is called linear gradient. In this method is for using gradient colors. So I already have them here prepared. I will just copy and paste. So in that way we don't waste too much time on it. As you see here, what happens is that I'm declaring the linear gradient with a 180 degree. As you see here, this is like a shorthand for 3 properties. Then we have this color, this one, and the percentage of here. So basically what it means is that I want the color to be displaying on 180 degree. I will be showing you in a sec. So for the color, in this case, let's proceed for color, which is going to be bar. This is the way that we can reference the variables that we have here at the root. And we want this white color. So basically copy and paste bar text. And as you see here, all the body in this case is applying this rule. So all the fonts that we have inside of the body are going to have the color of this one that is similar to a white color. Let's apply a display flex. This for flex containers. Align items center. Justify. Okay, let's do something here. Justify content to center. Mean height of 100 viewport height. And this means is that the body is going to be taking the whole height of the available space that it has. In this case, it will be here from the top to the bottom, from the right to the left, from the left to the right. Yeah. Let's declare a padding of 24 pixels. So as you see right now, the project is starting to take some really nice form. Let's continue with the other classes. The next class that we have is .app. This class is the one that we declare on the main element that you see here. So let's put the app there, and with a width of 100%, a max width of 820 pixels, a background of another linear gradient. I have it in here prepared for you. Since I already have the colors, that's why I don't want to take too much time emphasizing on the linear gradients, because we have more content to be covering. We want to have a border radius of 12 pixels, a padding of 20 pixels, and a box shadow, as the name suggests, is going to apply a shadow to this box that we have here. 0.6 pixels, then 30 pixels, and I also have another color here, an RGBA prepared for it. And as you see now, we have like a really nice box with its shadow. So as you see here, we have properties that we need to pass for the box shadow. Basically, they need to do with the space and the height that we want the shadow to be covering on the box. These are some topics that I'm going to be discussing later on a course that I will be publishing about HTML, CSS more in depth. So let's continue. Now we want to declare styles for the header. So we want to declare for the app header, and then the h1. This is the heading that we have here, this one here. So let's go back to the styles.css app header, and let's declare a margin of 0, 0, 15 pixels, and 0. Later, font size, as the name suggests, is for changing the size of the font, 20 pixels. So we make it a little bit smaller. For the color, we are going to be using the same that we have here. So let's copy and paste this here. And we have a beautiful white. Now let's give styles to the input area. So the one that we have here. So dot input area, and we are going to use a display of flex, a gap of 8 pixels. As you see, it creates a space between all the elements inside of the input area. Margin bottom, as the name suggests, we'll adding some space at the bottom, and also flex grab of grab. This is for certain scenarios when we are trying to see the app from a mobile resolution. So let's create now a class of inputs. This will be for the input elements that we are using, that we'll be using on the app. Right now I have we have this one, but we'll be adding new inputs shortly once we start touching the script.js file. So let's continue with the styles.css. On the input, let's create a flex of 1, then a padding of 12 pixels and 4 pixels. This means that we are going to be adding paths, a padding at the top and the bottom, and then on the left and right. That's why we are using 2 parameters. Then a border radius of 8 pixels. Then we want a border of 1 pixel solid, and I have another color here prepared for you. These are just RGBAs, but if I wanted, I could have used a color black. So let's put it here. That's it. So let's add a background. I have another RGBA. This is for the background of the input. You see, yeah, it's taking really a beautiful form. Let's use the same color that we have for the others. So this is for the color of the fonts. And outline none. And in this case, font size 15 pixels. Okay, so as you see, guys, we have like a really nice input. Let's continue with the placeholder, which is this one that you see here that says add new task. So we want to add certain styles to the input holder, to the placeholder, sorry. Dot input, and then we put double, and then placeholder. This placeholder, then we put a color, and this color is another RGBA. So in that way we can notice the difference between the placeholder and when we start typing on the input. So we have this grayish color, and once we type, we have like this white color, you see. Let's give some styles to the button. We want to give certain styles to any button. The padding 10 pixels, 14 pixels. A border radius of 8 pixels. Then a border of 0. So in that way we don't have too much borders on the buttons. So you see they are starting to take form. The corners are like that because we are applying the border radius. Then after the border 0, we are going to apply a font weight of 600. So you see now they look like with a strong format. After the font weight, let's put a cursor of pointers. So that means that if I hover over the button, let's type here, we will be able to see, you see, it changed the cursor, right? Then after the cursor, let's put a background. And here we are going to be using another variable that we declare at the top. In this case, the accent one. So this accent, as you see, gives these styles as you see here. So it's like a really nice blue. And then a color, let's add the same color that we have for the other fonts. So let's put this here, and you see we have the two buttons. So now let's give some additional styles for the button that has the ghost um, the ghost class, which is deleteTodos, and what we want is to have the background to have this one here, the text. So what we are going to do is use the same color. In this case, we don't want it for the fonts for the font color. We want it for the background. For the color, in this case, we are going to be using another variable, which is var, and then it will be the VG, which is this one here, the first one. Then we are missing, in this case, a border of 1 pixel solid, and I have here another RGBA. And you see now that the button looks different to the previous one, the ghost button. Next, we are going to be declaring certain styles for the todos that will be at the bottom of the input area. So let's do it. To-do list. For the to-do list, we'll have a list style of none. Then a padding of 0. A margin of 0. Then a to-do item. These are inside of the to-do list. To-do item. Display of flex. A flex grab of grab. This is for the mobile. And align items to center. We want a gap to be 12 pixels. A margin button. Margin button of 10 pixels. Border radius of 8 pixels. A background. We want to have a linear grading. In this case, let's use this one. Yeah, let me just remove there. Then we will be using another class, which is a to-do text. These classes, we didn't declare it on the HTML because they will be coming from the JavaScript file. Since we are going to be adding some events, there are certain elements that won't be shown at the time of rendering the website. So they will be conditional and they will be shown according to the activity that the user will be doing on the website. So that's why we are giving styles to all these classes that will be related strictly with the task once we add them. So for the to-do text, we have a flex of 1, then a font size of 15 pixels. Then we have the to-do text, the state of completed. And for the completed, let's put a text decoration none. This is for getting of the the text decoration of line through. An opacity of 0.6. And for a color, let's use color bar, and then the muted is another variation that we have. So yeah, we are almost there, guys, at least for the styles file. After this, we are just missing the JavaScript file. For the to-do text, let's continue with the edit class. Border color, in this case, the bar is going to be the accent, and then the background is going to be accent too, the same. So yeah, accent over there. And for the color, we are going to use bar and then text. Let's add some style for the delete button. Border color of bar and then accent 2. Let's create a background of bar and then the first accent, the blue one. And oh yeah, sorry, here is number 2 because we are referencing the red color. Then for the color, we are going to have the same here. So yeah, let's copy and paste. We have the delete. Let's go for the checkbox. This class of checkbox is the one that will be giving styles to the checkbox that we'll see at the left next to the task in order to mark them complete or incomplete. So let's give it a width of 18 pixels, height of the same 18 pixels, border radius of 4 pixels, a border of 1 pixel, solid, and I have here another RGBA. Oh, sorry, I forgot here the double. Then let's put a display flex, align items to be on the center, justify content to be on the center too, the cursor to be pointer as we did previously on the buttons, and for the background we want this RGBA. And the last class that we have is checkbox dot dot check. And what this means is that we are accessing to the check property that we have inside of the checkbox. So in that way, we can determine if the checkbox is checked or unchecked, and we can apply certain styles according to it. So let's put a background. I have here a linear gradient. So let me just copy and paste. And a border of 0. So guys, this is how the styles.css look like, and the only part missing that we are right now that is the script.js. So we are going to do just that in a sec. Now let's give some format to the script.js file. The video, I know that is quite long, but I prefer to have all this session together in just one video, and then you guys can take the time and maybe divide it on certain days, because in this way we have all the content packed in just one video rather than just dividing on different parts. So I think that in this way is easier. So let's start right now with the JavaScript file. let's put comments. Basic to do app with local storage persistence. Nice. So cons to do key. This will be a key that we'll be using for the API of the local storage in order to persist of data. So in my case, I'm putting TFT to do app, which is for the Fluidis programmer to do app. Then let's declare certain variables that we need. First one is will be a to do input and document.get element by ID. In this case, we want the to do input, the one that we declare here, and that's why we have this ID that you can see here. Second, we have the addBTN, which is this button that we have here. So document dot get element by ID too, and we put an ID of addBTN. So let's copy this one. Let's go back to script.js. Then we need cons to do list, which is to get access to the unordered list, the UL tag that we have here, this one. So let's copy the ID here. Document dot get element by ID, and let's put to do list. And the last one, cons clear BTN, which is this one. Delete all tasks. Document.get element by ID, and the ID that we assign to that one is this one, clear BTN. Okay, nice guys. Let's continue. Now we need to generate an ID per each task that we are going to be using. So let's do something here. YouTube generate simple ID cons UID, and then we are going to declare a function, and we want to use the API of date.now. So we are getting the date, a specific date, and then we declare it to string. We in this case, if we hover, we get that it returns a string representation of an object. So we are going to be using a radix of 36, which is for encoding. Then we will be combining this with another API that is called math.random. So basically this, as the name suggests, it will be generating a random number. Then we'll be converting that to a string and placing also the radix. And we'll be then slicing that value from 2 to 8. So basically we will take the numbers that were generated between the place of 2 and 8. I know that that all of this is kind of overwhelming, but I promise to you that on the upcoming videos I will be making a series of more topics specifically of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript completely isolated, so in that way you know how all these APIs, how all these functions work together. Right now I'm demonstrating to you how all of them work together, but yeah, we will be speaking more in details about each one later on the upcoming videos. So we get that, and now we are going to declare another function, in this case getTodos from local storage, which is the API from the browser. So let's create a function here, function getTodos let's put brackets here, and we are going to use try and catch here, return JSON.parse, and we want to get local storage dot get item, and we want to get the item that has this key, the to-do key. So basically we are going to put that key here, and in the case that we don't have it, we just put an empty array. So in this way, if we don't get any task, we'll be setting an empty array. If by some reason there is an error, well, we put the same too. So we are managing both scenarios, for the happy scenario and the fail scenario too. So let's create another function which is for say todos. The say todos will be also calling the local storage. By setting the items, that means that we want to save a new value on the local storage API. So what we used to do here is local storage set item, and then we are going to be getting the value that we previously have on local storage. Let's so local storage, then the set item, we are going to copy the key, and then we are going to use a method that is called stringify, which is coming from the JSON object. In this way, we are giving a format that is in this case handled by the local storage API on the browser. So, and the value that we want to transfer throughout the stringify is the array that we are going to be getting from here. So let's put R and then R. Okay, so now we are going to have one of the main functions that we'll be using at the beginning. So we want to render the todos, render todos, cons todos is going to be equal to getTodos, which is the method that we declare here. Oh yeah, I'm missing the function. That's why I was getting this error. GetTodos, I will be getting the values from the todos, and then a to-do list dot inner inner.html is going to be equal to empty string. So this to-do list is the reference that we get from the unordered list, this one here. So we are manipulating certain properties so that we can from JavaScript. That's why it's called DOM manipulation, in order to create the task that we'll be getting when the user types here on the input. Okay, so now let's create a conditional. If the todos, sorry about that, if todos dot length they're equal to 0, that means that if the todos are empty or we don't have any tasks, then we are going to do this. So let's create an li, which is an element that is inside of the unordered list. So I'll be helping from the copilot, so in that way to be a little bit quicker, because I don't want this session to be more extended than it is already. So document dot create element li. So this li is an item that is inside of the UL. So this li will be inside of the UL here, and that will be an equivalent of each task that will be in this case submitting. So yeah, li, and then li dot text content, we are going to have no task yet. Let's put there are no tasks by the moment. Okay. Then the li we are going to put an style and then a color. This means that we can. This is the way that we can access the CSS properties of the elements that we are creating from JavaScript. So in the way that we can create elements in JavaScript is by using the document API and then use the function of create elements in this case. So the style.color is going to be equal to the bar muted color that we have that we declare on the CSS file. Then for the li style.padding, we want to have 10 pixels and then 0. To-do list dot append-shell. This append-shell means that we are going to be placing all of this inside of the UL. So the append-shell is going to be li. There is and then return. Okay, so now that we have the to-do, if there are no to-dos, this is what is going to be shown. Now we need to verify if there are to-dos, something else needs to be done. So to-dos dot for each, and the for each mean that we are going to be iterating on the array that we'll be getting from the local storage if it has a content. So in this case, if it has a value or task, we are going to be iterating to one by one of these tasks. So we will be creating a different li document per each task that we have. So let's create the li, and then the li will have a class name of to-do item. We declare this task on the style.css. li.dataset.id is going to equal to the to-do.id. This ID is the one that we declare here, the UID. Okay. Okay. So now let's make the checkbox. Checkbox cons checkbox create elements. Let me just tap on it. Create element inputs. Let's create a class name for. Let's assign a class for the checkbox. Checkbox dot class name is going to be equal to checkbox, and then if to do is completed, then we are going to assign a class of check. If it's not, then we'll leave it empty. This is for the styles to verify if the class, if the checkbox is checked or unchecked, we'll be setting a different class according to the value of it. So for the checkbox, the type title, we will have toggle complete. Then we are going to be adding a checkbox, an event listener. Checkbox dot add event listener. When the user clicks on the checkbox, we are going to execute a function. And in this function, what we just want is to declare toggle to do, which is a function that we'll be declaring in a sec, and we pass the ID. So in this way, we identify the task that we want to mark as complete according to the ID, because the ID is unique. Now, let's proceed with the text, which is the text that is related to the tasks. So const text is equal to document.create element. We have here the div. The test, we are going to assign a class of todoText. We already have it on the styles.css, and we are going to be concatenating if the to-do is completed, then we mark it as completed. If not, then we don't show up anything. Then the delete button, const delete btm is going to be document.create element. Let me just remove this. Sorry. Then let's assign a class to that button. The delete btn dot class name of small. In this case, it will be just the delete. The delete button dot text content is going to be equal to delete, and let's add an event listener. Delete button dot add event listener. So basically, we want to add an event listener when the user clicks on the delete button. We want to do something in order to delete the task that we want. Okay, so we'll be declaring here another method which is called deleteTodo, and then we pass the todo.id. So in this way, we will be looking for the ID of that task, and then we'll be deleting that task. And for the last button that we need is the edit button. So const edit btn document.create element, in this case another button. We want to add a class name, edit btn class name of edit. We have all these classes on the styles.css, and then the edit btn, the text content will be edit. So this is what we would see on the button itself, the text. We need to add also an event listener. Add event listener for the click. Then we are going to be executing a function here. And for the add event listener, then we are going to declare another method that is editTodo. For this one, we need to pass the text, because if we want to edit the button, we are going to be editing the text. So we want the text and also the todo.id, because we want to look for that task according to the ID, and then make the change of the test, the new test that the user type on the input area here. So now the thing that we are missing is that we need to add all these elements to the to the li tag that we created here. So you see here. So what we are going to do now is li.appandchild, And the first one is going to be the checkbox to mark them complete or incomplete. Then the li dot app and shell, and we need the text, which is for displaying the text of the task. Then the li for the edit button. We want another one for the delete button. Okay. And the last one is for the to-do list dot app and shell, and then we'll be placing the li. So what we are doing here is appending all the checkbox, the text, the edit, and the delete button to the eli, which is the item for the bullet point, and then this bullet point will be attached to the to-do list, which is the ul. I know that it sounds like a little bit complex, but you will see later why we are doing this. So now the functions that we are missing in this case is the addTodo, which is for adding a task, the toggle, the delete, and as well as the editTodo. So and the clear R. So now let's proceed to add those functions because we are missing those. So now let's go down here, add to do. So for the to do function, add to do, we are going to be comparing something. So if we don't have text coming from this input, or in this case, the text dot trim, this is for the trim is for getting rid of the spaces. So as you know, when we are users and we type stuff, if we are typing something and by some reason you put a space, the trim is getting rid of those spaces. So in that way, we just get the word. Specifically, we have the spaces. Okay. If we don't get any text, basically, we want to return and we don't want to do anything. So let me just delete these brackets here and then click on return. If we get the values, then if we get a value from the input, what we want to do is get the to-dos. This is the way that we call the function that we previously declared. So you see here, this getTodos is the one that we were just we declare here at the top. Get the to-dos. And then for the to-dos, we are going to push. This push is a method for the array. So if we want to create an index or a new task, this is the way that we need to do it. So we are going to pass an ID, and we will be calling the UID. That's why this is the method that we create at the top for the UID, for the unique ID. So in that way, we don't have the same ID per each task, because that would be like a really huge problem at the time of identifying each task individually. Then we need to pass the text of the task. So text dot trim, and then at the time of creating the task, it will be false. So let's do this. Once that we push the to-dos, we need to update the local storage. So we are going to be calling the method of saveTodos, and the saveTodos, we pass the to-dos, and renderTodos again. renderTodos. This is to update the task on the UI. So right now we are missing the so we have the saveTodos. We need to add other methods in order to support the addTodo functionality. So we need to add events for the input when the user is typing, as you see here. And also we need to add an event for the add button, so we can get the value of the input, and then if the user clicks on it, on add, it should be adding that task and should be shown here at the bottom. Plus, we also need to capture the event if the user clicks on the enter key. Before we continue, there is a specific thing that I missed on a previous on the renderTodos method. So if you guys can go back to the render methods, let's look for it. renderTodos. I miss on the text here. I miss just one line. If we don't put this line, basically we won't be able to see the task. So the text that we created for the task, then we want to set the content, which is for the text content, to be the to do, in this case, to do dot text. So let's put that to do dot text. And now, yeah, we are able to continue with this part. So as I was saying, let's add then the events for the input and the button. So add via enter key to do input dot add event listener. We want the event of key down. Then we want to grab the event. Inside of the event, if the key that the user type, if the key is equal to enter, that means that we want to execute the addTodo, and we want to pass the value that is coming from the input text, the to-do input, which is this one, the value. So we'll be passing to the to-do and we'll be doing this. And once we do that, we also want to clear the value of the input. So to-do input the value is equal to an empty string. So every time that we set enter and we add a new task, that will be clearing the input. So in that way we can type a new task. Okay. Now let's put another comment here. Add via button at btn dot add event listener. In this case, yes, it's a click. Let's execute a function here, and then we will be basically doing the same here, but additionally we'll be adding another line which is for the focus, todo input dot focus, which means that if we click on the add, then the cursor will be inside of the input for adding a new task. So now that I have both two methods of add event listener for the to do input and the add button for the key down and the click, if I go to the input here and I tap task number 1 and I click on enter, you see that I'm able to see the task that I just added. Let's add another one, task number 2. Let's proceed to add the functionality for the toggle, the edit and delete, which are the ones that are missing. We are almost at the end of the video, guys. Stay with me. I know that this video has turned a little bit longer, but basically I want to have everything on the same video, so in that way you guys don't need to see different parts on separated videos. Yeah, so now that we have this, let's set the toggle to do. So toggle complete toggle task function toggle to do. We need an ID of the task. We are going a little bit faster now. To-dos, getTodos. Oh yeah, so const to-dos, getTodos, const index idx todos dot find index. So in this way we are going to find the index specifically, or the position where we have the task inside of the to-dos. So we have a key t, and if the task.id is equal to the ID that we are passing from the parameter, that means that we got a match. So if edx is equal to -1, we return, and this means that we didn't get any match and we don't have a to do for that specific toggle. So in case that we get a match, let's put a to-dos here, idx dot completed, which is the property that we'll be setting, and let's put the opposite, which is this. So this means that for the completed property, will be with the exclamation mark passing the opposite. So if the task was completed, it will be incomplete. If it was uncompleted, it would turn to complete. So vice versa. Then we save the to-dos and we render the to-dos again. Now let's go for the delete task. Function delete to do. We also need the ID. We need to get the to-dos too. So const to-dos. We need to filter the to-do that we don't want anymore. So oh yeah, let's declare better let here, because let means that is a variable that will be changing the value. The const is a constant. As the name suggests, we are not going to change the value of it. So to-dos is going to be equal to to-dos dot filter. Then we pass the t, and if the t dot id is different to the ID that we are passing through, that means that all those tasks will be filtered out, and those are the ones that will be shown, and the one that gets a match, that's the one that will be deleted. So we say the to-dos to to-dos, and we render the to-dos again. So we need, every time that we are making a change, we need to render the to-dos, so in that way the user can see the up-to-date changes on the UI. So after this, let's declare the editTodo function, editTodo. In this one is a little bit more complex, but I will be explaining you line by line. So we need the task and the ID. Again, we need to get the to-do, so let's copy this here. We need to get the current task text that we want to change for the to-do. So const current text is going to be equal to task.text content. Then we need to create an input, const input. This input would be for the one that you will see in a sec. We need to create an input in order for the user to let him know to type the new value that we are going to be using. So input document dot create element. We create the input, then we are going to put an input, a placeholder of edit task, input dot class name of edit input Then input.type is going to be text, and the input.value is going to be equal to the current text that we got from the task. So you see, then we want to replace the task dot replace with input. This is for injecting the input on the DOM. You will see when I explain on the UI. And then we want the input to be focused. So we are inside of the input typing. We are going to be adding an event listener for the input, this new input that we just created. So add event listener. In this case, we want the blur. So that means that as soon as the user moves out of the input from the input area, this function will be executing. So yeah, the task, we are going to extract the text content. The property of the text content will be equal to input.value.trim to get rid of the white spaces. And in the case that we don't have anything on the input, it's going to be equal to the current text that we passed previously. The one that we have here that is coming from the task. Later, we are going to be passing the input replace with task. And for the last, we want to update the task on local storage. Okay, so const task index. Now we are going to be using the todos that we declare here at the top. Todos dot find me the index of the task. In this case, task with the task ID equal to the ID that I'm passing here. You see? If we get, let's do something here. If task index is different than -1, that means that we got a match. So we can do something else here. In this case, we are going to update the todos with the task index that we got here. So we know the position where the task is located. Then we set the text to be the new text that is coming from the task. Oh yeah, sorry. In this case, the text would be the one from the input. Input.value.trim to get rid of the spaces, and in the case that we don't have it, we pass the same value that it was previously. Then we say todos, and we render todos. Good. So the only task that we are missing here is the one for the button. So let's add an event listener for that one. Clear all tasks. The clear btn add event listener. We make a click. And then if confirm, this is a method that is related to the Windows objects. So I'm going to be opening a pop-up, and this pop-up will be asking me if I want to delete or not the task. Okay, so what I just do here is confirm, and then let me pass us a message here. Do you want to clear all tasks? And if this is the case, so basically if they don't confirm, then return that means that the user don't want it to delete the task. But in the case that the user wants, we are going to do the following: local storage dot remove item, and then we will be passing the to-do key that we declare at the top here, the TFP to-do app. Okay, and then we are going to be render to-dos. And the only thing missing here, guys, is render initial to-dos. So we are going to call render to-dos. Hey guys, before we proceed to check all the functionalities of the app, I just wanted to tell you about some two small spelling errors that I had at the time of typing certain classes. So the first one is on the styles.css. So I don't know if maybe you didn't do it like me, but this is normal when you are doing this kind of tutorials, so it happens on real time. It will be getting better with the passing time. So as you see here, the checkbox, it should be check box to be referencing again the same class that we are here at the top. And the second error is on the script.js. We need to go to the part of the to do inside of the render to dos. Let's go to the part where we are creating the text for the text for the task, and we need to add a space here on the completed. So basically, if we don't do this, what will happen is that when we create the text and then we assign a class, in this case for the to do text, and then if the task is completed or not, we'll be adding another class. If we don't add this space, these two classes will be together, and that will be breaking, and it will be there will be some mismatching, and the UI won't look like we are expecting. So once we fix we made these small changes, you should good to go. So then let's continue with the part where we will be going over again all the functionalities. Hey guys, so now that we have all the functionalities and we finally made all the functions necessary inside of the JavaScript file, let's proceed to go over again all the functionalities that I show you over the beginning of the video, but now we will be going step by step after we code it together. So first, let's go to the app as we have it here. Let's add a task number 1. This task I will be adding by typing on enter. As you see, we have it here. Task number 2, I would add it by clicking on the add button, so that one is working as expected. And I'm going to add another task number 3. Okay, now we are going to edit the task number 1. So if I click on edit task number 1, edit it, let's click on edit. I'm going to click that is complete. So now if I reload the page, you see that we are persisting the data and nothing changes. Now I want to delete a task, so I just deleted the task number 3. And let's say now that I want to delete all the tasks, so basically I can click on here, delete all tasks, and this will be popping a model where it's asking me, do you want to clear all the tasks? First I will click on cancel, and as you see, nothing happens. So then let's click again the delete all tasks button, and now we'll be clicking on OK. And as you see, now all the tasks are completely wiped out. So let's just create another task again, task number 1, I just want to show you an additional thing regarding the local storage. The way that you can reach the local storage is by going to the application tab here on the browser, and you just look for local storage. Let me just expand this here. And what you can see is if I go to local storage and I look for the site, in this case 127.0.0.0.1, we have the key that we declare at the top of the JavaScript file, this one here, tfp todo-app. And as you see here, we have here the first task that we had. If I add another one, task number 2, as you see here, the data gets updated on real time. So that means that we can have persistence, and that's why we are using this mechanism in order to in order to keep the data not get erased when we are reloading the page. So that's all the functionality, and I hope that you have made it to this part of the video. Thank you very much. If you reach out to this part of the video, a big congratulations to you, because you just built a to-do list app with HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and also with tons of functionality, so a big shout out to you. If you like this content, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and also share with your friends or family. Also, if you have any questions, don't forget that you can make a question on the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to help you. See you in the next one.